תודה רבה רבה. Your Excellency, Senior Minister of State, Sim-An, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Minister of Home Affairs, members of the Parliament, Excellencies, Rabbis Abargil, Rivni and Ribak, religious leaders of all faiths, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, dear friends, good evening. Wan Shang Hao, Selamat Pitang, Malay Vanakam, Masai Nur, Erev Tov. It is a great joy to see you all here tonight. Welcome to the celebration of the 78th Independence Day of the State of Israel. This is an evening of celebration, but for me, it is also an evening of farewell. And I must admit, and you can see it on me, it is one of the most emotional evenings of my life, because after more than 1,000 days in Singapore, leaving this island feels a little like leaving home. When I arrived here almost 3 years ago, I came as an ambassador. I leave as a different person, because Singapore changes people. It changes the way you think, it changes the way you look at the country, and it changes the way you understand what is possible. Friends, it is customary to speak about the many similarities between Israel and Singapore. Two small nations in a complex region. Two countries born against the odds. Two societies that build thriving economies, innovative industries, and excellent education systems. But tonight, I would like to speak about something deeper. Today, it's easy to look at Israel and Singapore and say, of course, they succeeded. But when Israel was established in 1948, most of the world did not bet on its survival. On the contrary, when Singapore became independent in 1965, very few believed it could survive. Both nations were told essentially the same thing. You are too small, too vulnerable, surrounded by challenges, lacking resources, lacking a future, and yet here we are. Because history is not written by those who calculate the odds. History is written by those who refuse to surrender to them. Israel and Singapore are living proof of that. Proof that when there is a vision, courage, determination, and people who believe in something greater than themselves, almost anything becomes possible. Today, it has been 1,058 days since I landed in Singapore, and I count every day. And for nearly 3 years, I woke up every morning, and after thanking God that I have the privilege to wake up next to my beloved wife and children, and having the privilege to serve my country, I ask myself one question: how can I deepen the relationship between Israel and Singapore even further? Not how to preserve the status quo, not how to manage routine, but how to build the next chapter. Together with my extraordinary team at the embassy, we worked every day to open new doors, create new opportunities, and expand cooperation between our countries. Looking back today, I do so with immense pride. We strengthened our ties. We broke trade records. We expanded areas of cooperation. We have diversified the relations, and we laid important foundations for the future. Because in the end, diplomacy is not about managing the present. It is about building the future. This does not mean that we have not had disagreements. We live in a complex and rapidly changing world, a world where challenges continue to grow and national interests do not always align. Singapore has long supported the two-state solution. For many Israelis, including me, especially after the horrors of October 7th and the war that followed, this remains a deeply sensitive and painful issue. But precisely for that reason, it is so important to preserve what we have built together. Open dialogue, honest dialogue, respectful dialogue. Even when we disagree, we listen. Even when differences exist, we continue talking. And I hope that will continue in the years ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, for me personally, Singapore has been far more than diplomatic posting. It has been a journey during which I discovered an extraordinary country, one of the most remarkable nations I've ever encountered. To my Singaporean friends, I want to say, you have built something truly exceptional. The Singapore model, combining vision, excellence, pragmatism, and national responsibility, has had a profound impact on me. I admire the Singaporean people. Your ability to think long-term in a world obsessed with the next order. Your ability to build unity in a world increasingly addicted to division. Your commitment to excellence in a world that too often settles for mediocrity. In that sense, Singapore is not merely a success story. Singapore is a reminder that nations are not built by luck. They are built by leadership, by vision, by the courage to make difficult decisions, and by people willing to work for the next generation, not just next election. That is why I recently completed writing a 519-page book about Singapore and the lessons the world can learn from. Because sometimes the best way to say thank you is to learn, and the best way to learn is to listen. Friends, October the 7th changed Israel. It broke hearts, it shattered families, it shattered assumptions, but it did not break the Israeli spirit. If there is one thing the world has learned since that day, it is this. You can wound Israel, but you cannot break Israel. You can challenge us, but you cannot make us surrender. You can strike us, but we will always rise. We will always rebuild, and we will always move forward, because that has been the story of the Jewish people for thousands of years. I know many of you are looking forward to dinner and to our great dishes that we have here, as if we are in the market in Israel. So before I conclude, I must pause for a moment to thank the people without whom the last 3 years simply would not have been possible. First, my extraordinary embassy team, Avigail, Roy, Noam, Noah. They deserve it, no doubt about it. The legendary Lian, Shimi, Darren, and all of our Israeli and local staff. I say this everywhere I go, and I will say it again and again tonight. I have a Champions League team. You may see one ambassador standing on the stage tonight. I see an entire team that turned dreams into achievements. Thank you for your professionalism. Thank you for your dedication. And thank you for your friendship. I'm prouder of you than words can express. I would like also to thank our donors and partners. This evening belongs to you as well. You have a golden share. Your support enabled us to dream bigger, do more, and reach further. We are deeply grateful. And a special thank you to Adir Owen. You have done an amazing thing. And last but truly first in my heart, my Gila, my love. People see an ambassador, people see a position, people see speeches, meetings, and official events. But only you know what truly stands behind diplomatic mission. Only you know the pressure, the sacrifices, the challenges, and the moments that never make the headlines. You were there every step of the way, in every success, in every difficulty, and in every moment when I needed strength. If there is one lesson that I've learned over the last 3 years, it is that every meaningful achievement in life begins with the people you love and the people who believe in you. It was you. I love you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I ask you to remember two things. First, Israel has always been and will always be a nation that finds solutions, creates opportunities, and brings hope. If you have a problem, Israel is the solution. And second, Am Israel Chai. Thank you very much. Following the playing of the Singapore national anthem, I would like to invite you to join me in a toast to His Excellency President Tharman Shanmugaratnam, President of the Republic of Singapore. Thank you very much and God bless you.